One, it's a mentality, because if you look at those, and however you label success, if you look at those that are out there that have reached this level of like a billionaire, or the mindset is they're a little different. They're different people. And why are they different? It's because they really believe their shit. They believe, they speak it into existence. They live it every single day. And even when you think they're crazy, oh, he's freaking crazy. You know what? You're damn right. And I think you have to be that way. You have to have some craziness to you to get to where you want it. Because if you don't believe, who in the hell else is going to believe in you?
Yeah.
That phone away, D. I want you not distracted.
Oh, this phone's
I want you indistractable.
No, this phone's
for the next 45 minutes.
This phone's gonna ring.
Shout out, Nero.
I asked for 45 minutes once a week, and you can't even give that to me.
This phone's gonna ring, and I'm gonna get my black ass up, and then I'm gonna go. No, I'm just joking. You're right. I need to get rid of.
Let me see it. No, give it to me. Hand it to me. Thank you, Tyler. Phone.
Come get it.
Come get it. Is that what you said?
Come get it. You know where it's at.
Oh,
look at. If you're not watching on YouTube,
you're gonna go get it too, aren't you, Ben?
Go subscribe.
When Ben goes quiet here in about 30 seconds, he's coming to get it.
Go subscribe immediately, and you'll see where I have to go to get this phone. You're disgusting. I'll use Darren's line. You're disgusting, man. That's disgusting. White people, golly.
See, now you're feeling me now, aren't you?
I hate white people. It's ridiculous.
Oh man, I love when Ben gets all hopped up on that kill cliff.
The pineapple jalapeno. Hey,
He is a little. Yeah, right.
Hey, we're not being sponsored.
A little ornery this morning.
We're not being sponsored, but if you want to feel good,
for how long?
I got 2 drinks for you. The Jocko Discipline Go, only 95 milligrams of caffeine. It's not going to hop you up.
Go ahead.
It's going to get you laser focused.
That was a sponsor. That was an ad.
The second is Kill Cliff, Joe Rogan exclusive, the jalapeno pineapple or pineapple jalapeno, whatever fancies your boat. It's delicious.
You see in his eyes?
Are
you watching this shit?
No.
What is wrong with you, man?
I really think he might put, what is it, marijuana in it?
No, he's putting something else in that sucker.
Yeah.
You're way, some speed. Some kind of.
It's got a little more caffeine, 150 milligrams, which to Tyler is just sip 1.
Yeah, I was just saying. That's
not enough.
That's drink 1 of the day.
Some rookie stuff, guys.
But yeah, not sponsored by them, but go get it if you want to feel good.
All right, Ben.
So speaking of being healthy, Ben, let's get onto it.
That's a good point. So 2 weeks ago, we dropped our first ever Wellness Wednesday, brought to you, of course, by our friends at Sleep Number, the official sleep partner of the Darren Woodson Show. And we talked about why. So you know what you want, now establishing why you want it. And we talked about the importance of getting connected with why you want those particular goals. And that's what's going to keep you going when things get hard. So building off of that, I told you guys, these are going to build off each other. We're not just going to give you the what. There's thousands and millions of articles out there about what to do. You know what to do. This is going to be more about your mentality. And how do you establish a foundation going into the new year so that you set yourself up for success? So step number 2, Wellness Wednesday number 2, whatever you want to call it, is understand that it takes time. And that is a very short statement, but it's a very powerful statement if you let it marinate for a second. Because I think a lot of us, we get into this, we get super jacked up, we get super motivated, and we think these results are going to happen in 6 weeks. And my counter to that is, yes, it can happen in 6 weeks, but what are you doing in those 6 weeks to get it to happen? Is that really something that you can sustain for the rest of your life? So we throw this stat out all the time, Darren. 90% of people who lose their goal weight end up gaining it back. 90% of people. That means only 10% of people are able to sustain the weight that they lost. Why do you guys think that is? That 90% of the people gain their weight back after they lose it?
I would attribute that to obstacles. Like you may be on a plan, and I've gone through this. And I think we probably all have gone through the fact of you have a plan, you're working out or whatever you're doing, you're being consistent, and then something happens. Something sets you back. I got to fly out of town for a business trip, or something happens within the family, the dynamics that you can't get to the gym or you can't get to what you need to be accomplishing, and then you miss a day. And then that day becomes the next day. And then it's hard to get back on track. I think having obstacles in your way is you have to understand, even through the planning, you have to understand that I may miss a day or something may happen, but the mentality has to be, okay, I need to jump right back on it.
Yeah. Yeah, don't let one day turn into a week.
Don't exactly. So, just understand going into this that you're not going to be perfect. It's not going to be, everything's just not going to fall in place. Yeah, everything's 6 a.m. I'm just going to go work out and it's going to happen. Things are going to change. There's going to be some fluidity in this. You're going to have to figure out ways that maybe you didn't get it in the morning. Maybe you have to get it at night. But you just plan to understand that it's not going to be perfect in whatever you do.
And I think, to build on the roundtable, I guess last week, when you guys talked about how do you maintain motivation through success when things are going well? How do you maintain it? And I think the challenge with it's going to take time is typically, right? And let's just speak about weight loss. That's an easy topic. Is you say, okay, hey, I got a vacation in 3 months, right? I'm going with my spouse or my significant other, and I want to look good on the beach, or I want to look good at this wedding, or I want whatever it is. And you get to that, right? And you pick something, and whether you get it or not, but then there's an end date to it. When you're talking about overall wellness has to be a 10, 15, 20-year goal. It can't just be, hey, 3 months, because then it's not sustainable. Then you're going to do things and diets like, okay, hey, I'm going to jump on whatever fad diet's popular right now, and I'm going to melt this weight off in 3 months. And then you get there and you're like, okay, cool. And then I don't really have the next goal. Yeah. And then it's hard to say, well, I'll pick another one at that point. Well, then you've got gaps. Then you've got then it goes into Darren's point that, okay, well, I don't really have to. So I had a bad week. I'll get back to it next month.
Right.
Or I'll get back to the gym and I'm going to take a break and I'm going to reward myself. Right. One of the things that Andy Frisella does, right, with that 75 Hard program is that you go from one program to the next until you get through the first year is really when you can take a full 30 days off. And it's important because, and my mother-in-law just did it, and kudos to Jana, because she was locked in on that deal. Yeah. And she finished on a Friday and had 2 days off really before she had to start that next Monday. And she had one dinner and she's like, I don't want to. I don't want to take a break because I'm committed to making a lifestyle change. Yeah. And when you say I'm, instead of just a finite goal, that's the day, it's got to be, okay, I'm committed to this.
Yeah. I'm
committed. It's not, I got to lose 10 pounds a week for 6 weeks, or, I got to lose 5 pounds a week. Why don't you say, hey, I'm going to lose a pound a week? Guess what that translates to?
Yeah.
That's 52 pounds a year. If you walk in January 1st, 2021, 52 pounds heavier than when you walk in January 1st, 2022, people are going to be like, wow, who's that?
Yeah.
But when you try to cram it all into a 2 month.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I just to follow up on that, you said you hit it on the head. It's a lifestyle change. Mm-hmm. And it's not just your lifestyle. It's who you surround yourself with that are going to come along with you. It's almost that community that you have to have because we're going to fail.
Yeah.
Man, we are failures at heart. We're not going to always be, we're not going to be perfect. So surrounding you, making it a lifestyle change, what you eat, looking at your body. I have people have said this before. I remember Michael Irvin said, my body's a temple. I treat it as such. Used to always, but having that confidence in yourself that this is going to be a change from the minute I wake up and how I approach my day, whether it be eating, my workouts, who I surround myself with, what community I'm involved with, what I'm reading. It's an entire change. It encompasses everything.
Right. And to your point, right, instead of getting derailed because of a bad event, like, for example, I've been literally on the road for the last 2 weeks. And it's been, I was at a wedding in California, and then I had a business trip, and then I was home for a couple of days, and then I was just on another business trip. And it was hard. Like literally I did not work out. I worked out 3 times in the last 2 weeks, which I'm trying to get 5 to 6 days a week right now.
Yeah, we can tell.
And it was, looking sloppy.
I just said that out loud.
But here's the thing that helped me, right, is you talked about community, right? I'm in a workout program that I have community. People are checking on me, and I'm surrounding myself with that. And so for me, it was like, okay, I'm back in town. Now I just jump back into it. Yep. And it sucked this morning. Mm-hmm. I mean, it really sucked, like verge of throwing up. But you know what? Like, it's just part of it, because it's not like, hey, all right, I got to get these 30 days, this 30-day challenge, and I got to get through this, and then I'm good. It's like, no, this is forever, and I'm treating it as such. Yeah. And you know, to your point too, then it's like, okay, I slept like crap for the last 2 weeks, but recovery really is important. Mm-hmm. So last night, 9:30 in bed, asleep. It's like, just get back on track. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, you took a couple steps back, but don't take 5 more steps back just because, you know, you're disappointed in yourself or the obstacle seems too far. Like Joe Rogan said one time, he's like, you know, people are always like, man, I wish I got into training way earlier. Well, you didn't. So start now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just keep moving forward, have that long-term lifestyle goal in mind, and understand it's going to take a long time. Life takes a long time.
Yeah.
So just chip away at it.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well,
I'll go. No, I'm just kidding.
I was just saying, understands and take a long time. I think when a lot of times, or at least me, when I hear that, I think of the negative side of it taking a long time. But if I flip my brain and think, no, it's a good thing it's going to take a long time, because I'm learning things during that process. I'm establishing habits that are going to translate. We talked about this on a past episode. Yeah. These habits you're doing when you're trying to make yourself healthier are going to translate to everything. Mm-hmm. It's going to translate to your marriage. It's going to translate to your relationships. It's going to translate to your work. You're going to be able to do these things. And so, Tyler, you're nailing it perfect that if you look at a program and it's a 6-week shred program, think about the things that you have to do in those 6 weeks. If the question in your mind can't be answered that, is the things that I'm going to have to do in these next 6 weeks sustainable for the rest of my life? If the answer is no, stay away from that program. Yeah. Keep your money, because maybe you got the results, and you probably will get results because you're going to be doing some extreme things to get those results. Right. But then as soon as you get off that regiment, you're going to get it right back.
That's right.
You're going to be right back to where you started, and you just wasted your money. So you have to be okay with the fact that this is a lifestyle. It's not a challenge. It's not a 6 week. Yeah. You're going to, there's a lot of good salesmen out there that are selling these programs, selling these supplements, selling these diets, right?
And you know damn well that you can't achieve that.
Yeah. I hear people say all the time, I'm cutting carbs. Okay, really? So you're telling me you're never the rest of your life going to have a piece of bread the rest of your life? Yeah. I get it. I understand. You're desperate. I totally understand where you're at. You want results. Mm-hmm. I understand that.
So let me ask you this.
This has to be things that you can really see yourself doing the rest of your life.
But do you blame the person that does that?
I don't blame anybody.
Okay, the person that says, okay, this is the 6-week challenge. I'm going to jump into this 6-week challenge, and I know it's going to be hard, but I'm going to do it.
Yep.
And I get it. There's two sides of this. It's like you jump into that challenge, and you might get great results, and then you just can't. You can't continue that.
Yeah, and if you go in knowing, hey, this is only 6 weeks, and I'm not going to do this forever, but there's things I'm going to keep after 6 weeks to maintain. Yeah. If that's your mentality, go for it.
But it's
spend
mindset.
Your money.
It's mindset.
But if you think the 6 week, to you, what you said earlier, Ty, if you think those 6 weeks are going to accomplish everything I want to accomplish, and I'm good, just like we talked about last week, you're good now that you've seen it. Yeah. You're going to lose everything because you're not doing the things that got you there. Yeah. And understand that this is a lifestyle. It's not a 6-week challenge or an 8 or whatever.
And two examples is 6-week challenge, right? If you miss 2 days, 2 or 3 days because of a long weekend, vacation, whatever, that 6 weeks challenge, that 6 weeks shred, okay, that's toast. So you're like, screw it. I mean, I'm so far, whatever. I'm done. Then you quit 3 weeks in. Mm-hmm. It's not sustainable. Like you're training for a marathon, and really, like this comparison has been used all the time. But life is a marathon, right? It's a long run. If you just go out and say, all right, I'm training for a marathon, and I'm going to go out and run 20 miles on day 1. Do you think that you're going to be able to run on day 2?
I know you're done. Yeah,
No,
you're toast.
You're toast. You've never ran before and you try to run 20 miles on day one, toast. What is a marathon program? It's okay. I'm going to start at 1 mile. And then I'm going to do that for a week. And then I'm going to go to 2 miles. And then you gradually step up. And again, it's the mindset of like, when I train for a marathon, I'm training 6 months, 9 months, a year out if I've never done it, because that's what it takes. It's a process. It takes time to achieve the goal.
Yeah. So understand it takes time. Be okay with that. Be okay with maybe get the results a little bit slower than some 6-week program is promising you. But understand that that's going to be a lot more sustainable the rest of your life.
And you know what? I also
invest in discipline if you're going to invest
exactly.
in
But I would also take the I out of it. Like sometimes it's okay to get the we in there. And again, community. Understand you're going to have some bad days. That maybe you get a workout partner or someone that you come along with that can lift you up on your bad days. Because I don't know how many times I have bad days and I've had he shows up at the house at 6 o'clock in the morning. So let's go. Like sometimes you need to take the I out of this, because you're going to fail sometimes. Your accountability partner will push you as well. So,
and then it goes back to week 1 is the why, right? Make sure that you are really strong in that why, so that you understand the mindset of this. It takes a while. It's going to take a while. And if that why is strong enough to get you in that mindset, okay, I'm going to chip away at it for, the next 10 years. Like, it is much easier than saying, okay, hey, my why is I want to look good for this vacation, right? Guess what? You're still going to go on that vacation. You're still going to have a good time. Like, that's not a very strong why. Yeah. But hey, I want to make sure that I'm able to be physically active with my grandkids. So I've got a 20-year plan where I'm with my daughter, 40-year plan to be fit when my daughter finally has kids. That was a joke. You guys are just blank stare.
Just looked at you. Yeah, you better be fit.
Yeah,
her boyfriend's gonna come with it, boy. You better. Shit! You better be. He's gonna wear your ass out. He's gonna wear your ass out. Ty.
I cannot wait. Right? I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm that cool like father-in-law. Oh, he wants to take me like snowboarding and skiing and wakeboarding.
Push his ass
and
off
all
the
that
mountain.
stuff. Hey, better believe I'm gonna push you harder than you've ever been pushed.
Gia's boyfriend. Hey, her boyfriend's gonna be the inside linebacker.
Fuck stud.
Ty, you might have been a good wrestler back in the day.
Damn it. Dang.
Time's undefeated. So anyway, Wellness Wednesday tip number 2. After you know what you want, after you after you've been connected with why you want it, understand that it's going to take time and embrace that it's going to take time. Appreciate that it's going to take time, because I promise you're building up skills that are going to be able to sustain you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So,
and just in the last thing on understanding that it takes a while, sustainability, one of the biggest factors in that is recovery. Don't forget about recovery, because you can work as hard as you want, but it's like anything else. If you are not focused on your recovery, focused on your sleep, with your sleep number bed, I'm serious. Like, I'm being very serious. That's when you burn out, right? If you're just working, you're not contributing to sustainability without the recovery. Make sure you're focused on it.
And that's what we're going to talk about next time is, again, the first 2 tips, more psychological, more mental, get your mind in the right place. Now we're going to start getting into more practical things, and it starts with a foundation. And to Tyler's point, sleep. If somebody said, hey, I want to be healthier, and I had to say, and I could only give them one thing to change, one thing, which I know that's not, we're going to give you a lot of things, but if you could start with one thing, I would, without a doubt, say, fix your sleep.
Yeah. Drink water.
Either your quality or your quantity or both. Fix your sleep.
Yeah.
So anyway, that'll be next time. Again, that's brought to you by our friends at Sleep Number. We appreciate them and their support and their partnership there. This actually leads well into what we were talking about today. We teased it last week. So last week, part 1, we discussed how do you maintain the hunger when things are going well. And Darren, we talked about your experiences on Super Bowl winning teams. Everybody's super hyped about the win after the Super Bowl, and then people start showing up late. People start, missing meetings, and the little things slip after you've tasted success. And so that's what we discussed last week. Go back and listen. How do you maintain that hunger once you've seen some success? How do you keep driving forward? Today, we want to talk about in part 2, probably a little bit more relevant to a lot of us listening, because things are a little chaotic right now, to say the least, is how do you maintain the hunger when things aren't going your way? when you're not seeing immediate results. And that speaks to exactly what we just talked about. How do you keep waking up every single day whenever there's nothing tangible moving you forward?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the big question I want to discuss with you guys. Tyler, I know you have a great example of this in your process to making it to the NFL. Maybe we start there with your experience of what kept you going. Like, how did you keep waking up? Because I got to think there were a lot of doubt in those days, those early days when you were in the UFL, the CFL, when you were thinking, is this really ever going to happen for me? Nothing's really giving me feedback that this is working. Why am I still chasing this? So talk a little bit about that, Tyler, of what kept you going in those moments.
Yeah, and I guess, for those that maybe have joined the show a little bit later, I talk about my story early on.
I think it's episode 3. Go back and listen. One of the best episodes we've ever done. No, I'm not just saying that. It really was incredible.
Lot, especially coming from you. That means a lot.
Better than Darren's story, that's for sure.
But it was a long journey, right? Not getting drafted out of college, playing in Canada, getting cut in Canada, being out for a year. It was a long process, and it was hard, man. And it was it tested me. It tested my passion for the game. It tested my passion for success. It tested my commitment to my wife, my future wife, and then my wife, and then my future kids. Like, what did I want to contribute to them? What did I want to show them could be accomplished? Because I remember, and it was my first Arena League game, and I didn't even talk about this on the show, but I remember, and I literally broke down in tears in the locker room before my first Arena League game. This is the Arena League. This is the Arena League the first year after it came back. It folded because it didn't, that. And then it comes back. And this was like the budget version, right? This is like the Arena Light version.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
Arena Light. You're playing in front
Sorry,
of
man. Sorry.
Billy Bob and Betty Sue are the only two in the stands.
Rodeo.
no, for real.
playing on the bull riding dirt.
Hey, for real, on the dirt. They didn't even smooth it out, and they just roll a carpet out over the thing.
Right after the pig show.
I told you, hey, true story. True story. We literally were practicing at parks, like city parks.
I know.
I had to go walk around, and the team had to put cones to simulate the boards in the arena. And dogs are running through the middle of practice, and kids are running from the playground and wanting to play catch with us as we're doing hitting drills. And
I remember my first job out of college. I worked with a couple of guys that did the local Abilene team, and I'm like, you guys are buying your own pads. You got no medical. What are you doing?
That's like
getting paid $100 a game.
That's like the adult league, right? That's like they call them semi-pro leagues.
No, this was Arena League. This is exactly what you're talking about.
Really?
They got like $150 a game. These guys were convinced I'm going to the league. They were convinced. Wow. Anyway, sorry not to derail. We
need to bring those.
You're telling tale.
Yeah, I know.
They didn't make it to the league, I promise.
But I remember being in the locker room, and I broke down, and I had to ask myself the question. I said, why am I doing this? Like, why am I going out onto this field? And I hated the game of arena. I did not like the game itself. It was like you're playing football in your living room. I didn't like it, but I was like, why am I doing this? And it was easy for me. It was, one, I made this commitment to myself at 4 years old that I wanted to make it and I want to play on Sundays. And then more recently is I was playing for my wife that had supported me up to that point. And so for me, it was a gut check. And it, honestly, I broke down and then I asked it and I'm like, okay, let's go then. I've got an opportunity, whether it's a small opportunity, whether it's a long opportunity, but I've got an opportunity and I've been blessed to have that opportunity. So I've got to go take advantage of it. And that first game, and I was out there, man on a mission, honestly. And I don't mean to brag, but it was easy at that point when there was something not only for myself, but then there was also something bigger than myself.
Right.
And it was really important because there's times that I could let myself down, right? There's times that because I had to get up leading up to the Arena League is I had to get up at 5 a.m. and train. And there's times I didn't want to, but I'm thinking, okay, I'm dating this girl that for sure is going to be my wife if she'd have me. And I need to, I got to get up out of bed because doing what I'm doing now is not what she deserves. And it's not what I deserve, but there's times that you can just say, I mean, I'm all right. Like, I'll get there, whatever.
Right.
But there was urgency because there was something bigger than myself. And so going through that, I mean, literally eating a grilled chicken sandwich from Subway 3 times a day for 2.5 months in Salt Lake City when I shared an apartment with 4 other guys on the team, like, it really wasn't that hard because there was something bigger than myself. And so when you are going through, and it was tough, dude. Like, it was tough. Like, didn't see my wife, and I didn't feel like there was any progress made. I'm just like banging my head against the wall, playing in the Arena League. And, even prior to that was like traveling, going to workout, spending every dime we had to fly to Orlando, fly to Salt Lake City, fly to Vegas, fly to San Diego, or not fly to, drive to San Diego, whatever it is, whatever these workouts were, there was not any forward movement. But because there was something that I had promised to myself, but then also something bigger than myself, it was okay. And when I'd show up, it wasn't like this, there wasn't this just like animosity towards it. Because I feel like that happens sometimes. Like, oh man, I got to freaking do this.
Right.
It was like, no, dude, there was an extra level of energy. And I wanted to take advantage of those opportunities. As pathetic as I felt sometimes, running a 40 next to some dude in boxer briefs and a wife beater, it was like, no, like, I've been given this opportunity to take advantage of it because this is not the goal. The goal is so much bigger than this. And this is just a step.
You didn't stop dreaming. You never stopped dreaming.
No.
Yeah, I got a question for you. So you had 3 other roommates when you were in Salt Lake City. Were they dreaming the same? Did they have the same dream? Did they have the same mindset, same sacrifice, knowing that the ultimate goal was the NFL?
No, because while I'm there was one guy that had tasted the NFL. He'd played for the Redskins and I don't know, I can't remember if he was just like in camp or he spent an off season with them, but he had tasted it, and he had 2 kids at the time. And so he was away from his family. So he was kind of further along in kind of the journey of life. Right. And so he had motivation. So literally he and I were at the gym, 24-hour fitness. They gave us a free membership, 24-hour fitness. We were there working out together at least once a day. And most of the time it was twice a day because practice and meetings were 3 hours total, right? So you had all this downtime. So it was like, okay, we're going to literally live at the gym because the goal is not this.
Right.
But I would say for 95% of the team, the goal, they were just like, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Like, they talk like they wanted to, but their actions didn't reflect it. So I mean, to answer your question, no. And so that's when you talked about community earlier, is you've got to align yourself with people that are going to help with that, as opposed to just like, because I mean, dude, my roommates literally just sat and watched TV, or played video games. And it was like, damn, like, if that's what you're doing to get better, to progress, and you're good making $500 a month doing this, all right.
Yeah. Were there any crumbs of encouragement along the way from, like, did NFL scouts come and watch games? Like, what were yes, you were driven internally and you turned attention, but were there any indications that things were progressing along the way?
No, and I was motivated probably more by the fact that there wasn't. And you talk about, like, I struggled the episode.
Damn, that's strong.
Don't skate over that. That is a knowledge
I'll come back
bomb.
to it, but you guys talked about last week, like, what I struggle with more than the other is, like, when you do taste a little bit of success, is taking your foot off the pedal, because I don't know if my goals were big enough. I mean, it sounds like, making the NFL is a big goal,
right?
But, like, I just was like, all right, I got to the NFL, right? And then it was like, okay, I want to be a starter, and I want to be a Pro Bowler, and I want to do those things.
So you're saying you should have said, I want to be a Pro Bowl or an all-pro NFL player. Like, even when you're working out at 24-hour fitness in Salt Lake City, you should have said, I want to be an all-pro. Is that what you're saying?
First, you got to take steps, right? You got to have realistic steps.
This is awesome. You don't. Oh my God!
I'm just gonna sit here silent because
I'm just thinking about, like, a mentality that because most of the time we dream, we have this ultimate goal, right? And we're going to do whatever it is to get to the ultimate goal instead of just taking care of what's right in front of you. Like my biggest problem has always been somewhat like you. When I was in college, I wanted, when the scouts came out, I wanted to perform.
Yeah.
Like when they came to practice, I was trying to perform because I knew that they were watching. But, you know, Tyler's situation is so different, and it speaks to so many people that are out there right now, because he's looking at it as, yeah, I do want to get there, but I got to deal with what's right in front of me right now and be present and knock this down in order to get to the next. And I think a lot of us sit there and we say, okay, no, I'm just going to get there. The goal's right there. That's what who cares about what's in front of me? They don't take care of their business.
We
never get there.
We get enticed by the quick story.
Absolutely.
By Darren's situation, that everything happened as it was supposed to. Not that it was easy. I'm not saying that, but the process went how it was supposed to, how it's supposed to go. Meaning, you know, you ball out in high school, you ball out in college. That's what I'm saying. Or we see the Instagram success that seems like overnight they just popped up out of nowhere. Now they got this massive following. So we see those few examples and we forget that 98% of us, whatever it is that we're after, that we want to accomplish, it's going to take 10, 15, 20 years to get there.
See, but a question for you though, and I'll go back to what we're talking about, being motivated by not having the nuggets, is for you though, like you immediately you got drafted and you're like, okay, starter for one, but I already have the mindset that like I'm going to be the best at this position in the league. Like you came in with that mindset, but I do feel like you had the mindset of like, okay, and every day in practice, I'm going to be that guy.
I'm going to show you,
So every step of the way, you're like, okay, today I'm the best safety in the NFL. Tomorrow, I will be the best safety in the NFL. So taking it step by step. And so I had to do the same thing. And that's why I went to the Arena League is so as I was going and as I was training, I had an agent and she was, I mean, nothing bad to say about her other than she just didn't think that I could play. Right. Even coming out of college, like it was like, hey, you were a 3-time all-conference player. Like you're third in school history in sacks and really should be second because, I mean, I'll go back and I'll show you the film and there's 2 white guys and they just got us confused. And he got some of my stats. Garrett McIntyre, I'm calling you out. Hey, you're welcome for those 5 sacks in 2004.
God, I forgot they missed 5.
5 sacks. Wow. 5 sacks. That looks different when you've got 24 sacks in your career versus 29 sacks. That's a different. That's different.
You're not bitter about it.
Anyways, whatever. Details.
You moved on.
Is she just didn't believe that I could play. So everything was like, hey, you need to be a long snapper. You need to be a long snapper. Now, I'm eternally grateful for her pushing me into that because that's what actually helped provide longevity in the NFL is because I could do that, because I became valuable, but she just didn't believe, which motivated me. I'm like, you know what? No. Like, I know you don't think, like, I had a very successful, I know that I can play. I know when I pass rushed against Winston Justice at USC, I know that I was better than him. And I know, and I watch these guys. I know that I can play. And then when my head coach, who I killed myself for, who again, still totally respect, and he knew me well enough to know what I needed. And hey, you know what? Glad you got your degree. You know, you should really look at the Arena League. I think you'd be good. So I get to the Arena League and I'm like, all right, I'm here, mother. And guess what? I'm going to show you this is not where I stop. This is not the end goal for me. The end goal is what I told myself when I was 4 years old that I was going to do. And so that motivated me more. So when I'm not getting any claps, when I'm not getting any cheers, that's when I was the most motivated because it was like, awesome. All right, y'all, like, that's fine. I don't need you to cheer me on. I don't need that, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you that what you said, and when you judge me, and when my wrestling coach said, "Hey, you're not going to be a football player, Tyler. You should go wrestle." It's like, no, screw you. Like, if you don't believe in me, then I'm just going to have to do it myself.
You know what's interesting is as you're sitting here talking, I'm thinking it, and I'm talking this out before I'm really thinking it through, which I do probably too often. You had no idea what playing in the NFL was going to actually be like.
Zero.
No clue. And yet that was such a powerful driver for you. So for me, what I think of is you probably actually enjoyed the 24-hour fitness workouts. and enjoyed the extra film or what there was an aspect of the process that you actually, because you didn't know what the NFL, you never experienced the NFL before. So I think there's a part of along this journey, you appreciated the steps to get there.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the moment, that exact moment did you love, but there was a part of you that did enjoy being the guy that went and worked extra.
100%. And really kind of in my testimony, like that's what it says. Like I enjoy the hard work. I enjoy that battle, that internal battle. And there's ego with that. So that's not all good. Just to be very, very clear is I prided myself on that.
And the point,
you know what? Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, the point of bringing that up is you weren't seeing results immediately. There were no nuggets, but because you actually invested and enjoyed the work, that's what kept you going day in and day out.
No. I get
partly.
I get that part of it, but let's be real. Like sometimes in that situation, if I'm looking at that situation from afar, like there's a fucking chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, 100%.
A huge chip. And you're like, I'm way fucking better than this.
Yeah.
I played against some of the best, blah, blah, blah. The part that's encouraging to me in listening to the story is you had a true belief in self, almost a narcissistic way of thinking of I belong there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to knock these dudes out of the way.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show everybody else that has this mentality of you're just an arena football guy. I'm going to show everybody's ass. Like that is, to me, is when you have that belief in self, like that's a mentality.
Yeah, but part of it's manufactured. Honestly,
yeah.
If I'm being 100% honest,
absolutely,
it's the repetition of saying that.
Yeah.
When 75% of myself believed it, and 25% of myself was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But here was the moment when I was like, okay, like 100% I'm all in. It was when I played in the UFL, right? And I got Dante Culpepper as my quarterback, and I got all these NFL guys that I'm playing against. I literally was like, I told myself, I'm playing on Sundays, I'm playing on Sundays, and I'm going to train that way, and I'm going to work that way. But literally, when I put my hand in the ground as a fullback for the first time in the first UFL game, and my wife always talks about this, and I literally I dragged my manhood across their face mask, was when I was like, oh, damn, I actually can do this. But it was because I told myself it was that I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I belong there. I'm going to be there.
Right.
It was manufactured, and I believed it. But there's literally that doubt, like, but
that's
if
a part
I
of
get there. Yeah, but because I trained, because I said that,
right.
I literally got there, and physically, I was more than capable of doing it.
Yes, and there's nothing wrong with artificially putting that in your mind. It's like that's the chatter that goes along in your mind.
We have a client.
Yeah.
We have a client, and he's a guy, and I think we've talked about him before. He's a guy that has set these things, and he's convinced himself he is going to do things. Nobody else thought that he could do it. Nobody. And I would argue that people in his organization are like, dude, you're crazy.
Yeah, from the outside,
there's no chance.
From the outside, I'm looking at him like, there's no way.
No chance. But guess what? This dude has, and I'm not even going to throw, but like has achieved or exceeded the things that he told us 2.5 years ago that he was going to do. And because it was manufactured, he believed to an extent, and he manifested it because he said it. He believed it, said it, put himself in uncomfortable positions. And that's the other thing too, is when you're not having success and when you're not making progress and you're just working, ask yourself, am I putting myself in uncomfortable situations that I'm forced to perform? Because if you're just like working, and you're not ever putting yourself out there, because there's an element of like, hey, I've got to put myself in an uncomfortable situation that I'm not sure if I can actually execute this. Until you get to that point, it's really hard to make progress, right? If you're saying, okay, hey, I want to start a landscaping company, right? And you're just knocking on doors, and you're cutting front yards, and you're doing you're doing residential houses. Like, you're really not that uncomfortable. Right. But what about when you say, okay, KDC, a large national developer. You go knock on their door and you say, hey, I want to bid on this new development that you're doing. I want to do all the landscaping for it. How do you know what you can actually do until you put yourself in that situation?
And not only that, but it can also be like, hey, just volunteer your time and do something different. Yeah. Just do something different that's outside of your scope once and learn something new, right? If I'm a guy that's a landscaper and I'm just knocking on doors and I'm not getting opportunities, maybe there's a Salvation Army down the street. Maybe I can go to them and say, hey, look, I want to build this out for you just to cut your teeth, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of this has to do with, and through as we talk through this, one, it's a mentality because if you look at those and however you label success, if you look at those that are out there that have reached this level of like a billionaire or the mindset is they're a little different. They're different people. Yeah. And why are they different? It's because they really believe their shit. They believe, they speak it into existence. They live it every single day. And even when you think they're crazy, oh, he's freaking crazy. You know what? You're damn right. And I think you have to be that way. You have to have some craziness to you to get to where you want it. Because if you don't believe, who in the hell else is going to believe in you?
Yeah. Yeah. How do you, so here's where I'll say this, that I think this helped me. And again, I hate that this episode is kind of focused on this, but the reason that I believe that 75% of me believed is because I worked my ass off.
That's right.
Yeah. It's because, hey, okay, I know that on my shuttle, I'm running a 400 or a 401 shuttle. Right. Like I know that that's really good for linebackers. So I know, okay, my lateral movement is as good as anybody in the league. Okay, I know that because I'm training for it and I'm working at it. I know that I can do 36 reps on 225. That I know that that's really good for defensive end and linebackers in the league. I know that that's a good number. I'm working my tail off. I'm not going to talk about my 40, but I worked my tail off on it. I just didn't see the results on that.
It was your start.
My 10. I know my 10 split was 1-4. I know that.
The wind was blowing in your face that day.
It was crazy. For some reason, there was a parachute on me. It was wild. I don't know how I got there.
I chose to run it with a weight vest on.
I was trying to prove a point, that, hey, look, I can do this with pads on.
I got a motor.
Yeah. I ran in shoulder pads with no jersey on, so they were just flopping around everywhere when I was running. It was weird. But anyways, I trained really hard. But the reason I had the confidence is because I know that in the workshop that nobody saw, I was putting the work in.
Yeah.
And there's confidence in that. You can't have confidence if you're not doing the things that you have to do to get there that other people aren't willing to do.
Yeah.
And I know that and I'm in the same deal. It's like, I was always the workout guy. Klutzy's always in the gym. You know why? Because I needed that extra little boost when I got out on the field because I didn't have maybe the natural gifts that a lot of these guys that I'm playing against, they had. But I had the confidence because I was working my tail off. So business, it's same deal. Like if you're not super, super confident about making that sale or cold call or executing that project, put in the time and effort to educate yourself, to have the experience so that you can actually say, you know what? I'm going to manifest a lot of this, but I really truly believe it because I put in the work.
Yeah. The episode we released 2 weekends ago with Gary V, he just posted something that I thought was really good. We get that in a second.
Yeah.
But speaking of belief and people believe in you, there's a place just north on I-75 where people believe in you. And you can see instant success. And you go to this place.
And you never know who you're going to run into.
Darren, you were up there a few weekends ago. How was that experience?
I was up
We're talking about Choctaw Casino and Resort.
Choctaw Casino and Resort. Had a great time just this past Saturday. Actually, it was Texas OU weekend.
Hello.
And
Boomer.
There was a lot of Boomer Sooners there. There were some Longhorns there as well. But I ran into.
You know why? Because it's easy to get to from Texas.
It's only an hour's drive. It took me a short time. Man, look, I looked up and I was there, and I'm
That's
walking in.
Because you got a car to drive yourself. But anyway.
But anywho, actually, there was a driver. The driver. It was special.
VIP.
But it was lit up, man. I think one of the things you see when you drive up on Choctaw, it's lit up, man. The pool area was awesome. I sent you guys pictures, I think, of the pool.
It was incredible.
The cabanas, but I ran into one of my former coaches. And again, we Choctaw always talks about you never know who you're going to run into. I ran into Barry Switzer, one of the greatest, if not the greatest. He's probably in history as one of the greatest college football coaches of all time. But Marcus Dupree, so many of his former players, Thomas Lott, a lot of his players from way back were up there at the casino having a good time. We went out to the dinner, went to the steakhouse. The steakhouse is phenomenal.
On point, huh?
Phenomenal. The food was great. It's just a great location. And so if you want to get out and have a good time, it's out from Dallas. It's about an hour's drive up north to Durant, Oklahoma. A phenomenal facility. Check out what I didn't check out just yet, and I will the next time in the next couple of weeks. Is I will hit the spa.
Oh, for sure.
Because they were trying to get me to the spa. I couldn't get there, but
you gotta get your toes played with, don't you?
Hey, top of the throat. Yeah, I just gotta get things. We gotta, You gotta get the toes right.
For sure. Yeah. And the video you sent us. Unreal, that's the first time I've seen it at night, and it was oh my gosh, it was every bit as what you would hope it would be. So get yourself up to Choctaw Casino Resort. But back to what we were talking about before, Gary Vee just posted a picture. I know Darren didn't see it, but Tyler, I sent it to you. He said, I posted thousands of pieces of content before anybody gave a shit about me.
Yeah.
This is Gary Vee. This is 9.2 million followers on Instagram, however many million subscribers on YouTube. This is one of the biggest names in the world in business. And he talks about he put in work, thousands of hours of work before anybody even cared who he was. What was driving him in those moments, right? We talked a little bit on the episode. He started working at 14 in the family business. He had to do it. To help provide for his family. But he wanted a better life for himself. That's what drove him. He was passionate about getting out and providing for his family. That's what drove, even when the results weren't there, even when nobody knew who he was, he kept doing it because he was so passionate about that goal of his.
That's just, and that's just, again, we talk about successful people or people who have, however you want to categorize success. A guy like Gary Vee could care less about how people think about him. He care less. Like his dream and his focus, no one was going to take him off of that road. And it wasn't like, well, it was just for the money. No, there's a passion behind it. Like there is a true passion. And that goes for whatever you do in life. If you're passionate about it, believe in it, understand that it's, the ultimate goal is there, but you have to knock down what's right in front of you.
Yeah,
and I think that's the qualities that you bring along and work your ass off along the road.
So one thing that's consistent, I think, with everybody, right, is you have to work. You have to. Like there's no way around that. There's no way around that.
Yeah, that's true.
But here's the other thing too, and I agree with you. But I also think if you're listening, you've got to be honest with yourself and what motivates you personally. Because if you just say, hey, I have to be self-motivated, it has to come from within, it has to be me, and you're not driven and wired that way, and we've talked about it. If you're not driven and wired that way, it's really hard to just fake that. Right? And that's that unsustainable. It's like, well, if I'm okay letting myself down, but I'm going to say that it's only important to me, and I don't care what anybody else says, that's hard. Be honest with yourself. Look, if I am motivated by outside sources, whether it's my family or criticism or applause or whatever it is, figure out how to get those things. Figure out how to create an environment, right, that allows that motivation to fuel you. But you have to be honest with yourself. If you're saying, hey, the only thing that motivates me is getting followers, or the only thing that motivates me is money, well then, you know what? Go get money if that's what motivates you. If it's, hey, I want my family, I'm doing this for them. Hey, put a picture that you can see. And this is recently, I had a conversation with a partner at our company. And for me, my family motivates me probably more than anything. That's the number one thing that motivates me. So for me, everything that I'm working on, I literally have a picture on my computer, and on the back of it, I wrote, is this worth it? Is this that I'm taking away from my family, the time that I'm taking away from my family, the stress that it's causing me to bring home, is this deal worth it? And a picture of my family. And if I can't say yes, I'm on to the next one. So I'm sorry. But you've got to figure out what motivates you and be honest with yourself. Because if you're just like following what you see on social media and what they say that you have to be motivated and this is the only way, no. There's a million different ways to freaking skin a cat.
Well, let's be true. I mean, most people are worker bees. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that.
That is okay.
That's one question I wanted to ask Gary Vee. Like, look, if you are, we are in such short supply for blue collar workers. Like people that actually go and execute.
Absolutely.
Everybody wants to be the idea guy. Everybody wants to be the CEO. Everybody wants to be the entrepreneur because it's cool and it's sexy. But be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Like, I'm a warehouse guy, man. I'm a picker and a packer. And that's what my gifting is, and that's who I am. There's zero wrong with that. Yeah. Guess what? You go be the best picker and packer, and you're going to make a very good living if you are the best one because people are going to pay you because there's such high demand for it. Yeah. I mean, if you're the best plumber, think about how much plumbers make these days because there's not good plumbers. Yeah. There's not good electricians.
What do y'all think the draw is for, and I'm sure there's a scientific explanation for it, but what do y'all think the draw is for instant success? Like why do we crave instant success so much as opposed to, because we know that even if it takes time, we know that that's still a good thing. We know that we're building habits, we're building up things that are good for us, even if it takes a while. So why are we so allured by the instant? Why do you think that's such a strong pull for most of us?
Probably because we know we don't have a lot of freaking time. Like, I mean, honestly, and it feels good. It's the honest to God truth. Is when you have some type of instant success, if you just fall into it sometimes, it feels damn good. And I think that's the dream, that dreamer that's in us. We're all made to dream. Yeah. And feel a certain way. And sometimes that instant success, just for that moment, feels so great. Yep. It does. And look, man, I'm not going to take that away from anybody because there's people that I know that say, hey, I just want to taste it. Right? Well, here's your taste. But you know it's not sustainable. Yeah. I mean, that's the part of it that a lot of people don't understand is sustainability comes in the work. You keep on putting in the work. You keep on chopping wood. You have some success, but then you don't stop. Yeah. You got to keep moving. You got to keep moving forward. And instant success is something that, you know, as a young guy, I've always looked at it and goes, oh man, you know, damn, that'd be great just to get that success. But I understand now as I've gotten older and matured that's not sustainable. Yeah. You're going to have to put the work in to continue to grow on that.
Yeah, I would correlate it to, okay, sometimes it's really nice, you know, to stop at Whataburger or In-N-Out and get filled up on fries and a milkshake and a burger. But you know what? Like when I go home and I like smoke a nice ribeye and then reverse sear it.
Thought you were going somewhere else with that.
I was going to say, dude.
No.
Smoking ice.
We are not going down that road.
That habanero, yeah. But it's like, and then what is more fulfilling, right? What is what is better for your soul? A meal that you cook from scratch and the things that you get from that, not just nutritionally, but like good for your soul, right? Like a glass of wine, a good steak, some like grilled veggies, or Whataburger. It's instant and you're full on the other side of it and it feels really good while you're eating those French fries. But what's better for you? It's the same thing. And I think part of the reason why we're so drawn to this instant success is that we have access to so many people and to see so many things, right? Traditionally as humans, right? We lived in a tribe, right? If we lived in a tribe of 150 people, like you're probably not going to see some guy in your tribe instantly go kill 37 elk, right? And have, all this wealth or whatever you want to call it, right? We are so exposed to the easy route, the quick route, and we see people do it, so we now think it's feasible and it's realistic for us. Yeah. And not that it's not. Look, the opportunities are there. Like they are what they are, but we see it so much. So we're so enamored with getting that instant success, putting a viral video out, and again, these people that are doing these videos, it's like winning the lottery, but we see so many of them that it becomes realistic, right? And the ones that are really, truly have the sustainable following that have created a great platform and just talking social media are the ones that, like the Gary V's, that put out thousands and thousands and thousands of posts and content and videos before they ever even hit it. But guess what? Those 1.5 million followers that they have now are pretty loyal because they know they can trust them.
Yeah.
Right. And that wasn't instant success. You may think that it is because, again, we have all this exposure and we see all these things and we have all this information and we think that now, okay, that guy got it, I want it.
Yeah. Yeah, and you touched on it a few times, Tyler, and Darren, you talk about this a lot. It's turning the focus outward to other people, how this is affecting other people in a positive way. You know, Gary posted thousands of pieces of content. He still does it because obviously there's a selfish aspect of it, but it's because it's actually truly impacting people. Yeah. It's helping people. You write on the back of that picture of your family, is this worth it? Because you know it's going to impact your kids. Darren, you serve in the community because you know it's impacting people. So that's the encouragement to myself is when I'm not seeing the instant result, okay, how can I actually impact somebody in a positive way?
That's right.
So maybe I'm not getting this massive success that I deem success, but I am actually making a difference in people's life. That's what keeps me going, along with the desire to want to be better or the desire or the passion for whatever I'm after. It's knowing that it's actually making a difference in people. Yeah. Even if it's one person, two people, whatever, it's making a difference. That's enough of a carrot along the way.
And really that's key, man. And I'm glad you brought that up because when times are hard, but you know that because you are pouring into somebody else or you are helping someone else or, you know, creating a connection for someone, that feeling to me is more fulfilling than, okay, hey, I got a commission check in. Because again, okay, now you pay the bills and you do this or you go out on a vacation or you do this. Okay, that's gone. But like truly knowing that you've poured into somebody and created a relationship and you helped them, that to me is the sustainability because, I mean, you've done it thousands of times in your life and they come back to you and be like, hey, and it's come around and it's turned, right? And it's like, hey, I'm going to call in, you know, hey, I want to ask you for help on this. And they're there.
Right.
But that's the sustainability to me is when you're doing something for someone else, helping them get to the next level, that to me is what gets you through the really hard times.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah. So as we wrap this up, final words of encouragement, Tyler, for somebody, Darren, I want to get you after that. Somebody that is going through this scenario we're talking about. Things aren't going well or they're not going like they want or they're not seeing the results immediately or you know, they're just they're in that grind phase right now. They're in that phase of they're not seeing the instant feedback. What's your encouragement to somebody?
Yeah,
like
I think is be honest with yourself. What's your motivation? What is it that is driving you? And be honest. Be very brutally honest. Is it something that is going to help me push through the really hard times? And really play on that and create scenarios where, hey, like I'm playing into that and I'm able to push through these hard times. Yeah. And then 2, put in the work. Like, don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to anybody else. Like, you can go tell people that you're working and you're the hardest worker in the room and you're this and you're that. But if you're not putting in the work, there's not going to be progress made.
Right. Yeah.
So put in the work, be honest with yourself. Those are 2 things that I would say.
Yeah. Look, first of all, I say take the step. That's one. Take the first step. Know what you want. Secondly, I would say, you know, we talked about being in a community and being involved with others who are like-minded individuals. Like if you can get yourself into a situation where you surrounded yourself with individuals that want the same things that you want or have a positive mentality or have a positive outlook on life and what that looks like, that's who you want to be around. You do not want to be around negative folks who drag your ass down.
Yep.
Set yourself up the right way. Again, you know, it starts with you. You're your own dog. You look at yourself in the mirror and figure out what you want, and then the community is a part of it. But you can't do this. Look, I've said it a million times. I've had some type of success. I've never done one thing by myself. I really haven't. I've had people along the way who have opened the door or have done little things for me that have allowed me to be successful, but they're the same people who are like-minded individuals.
Right.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, along with what you guys said, you know, understanding why you're doing it. For me, it's, and this speaks to my past, is don't quit.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you hear that all the time, and I know it's cliche, but literally, like, just don't quit. If you've established that it's important to you, keep going after it.
Yeah.
The worst thing we should do an episode on this. How do you know when to quit? When is it a good time to cut bait and walk? But if it's something you've established that's important to you, just don't give up. Just don't quit. Because I've lived a life of quitting. I've lived a life of regret, and it's not what you want. I promise you.
Right.
So keep going. Do not quit. As simple as that sounds, that will eventually get you there. Because if you're tied to why it's important to you, you're tied to pouring in other people, you're going to get there eventually as long as you don't quit.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's good.
Well, good show, man.
Yeah. So where are we at, Darren? Where can people find us?
You can find us at the Darren Woodson Show on Instagram. I don't know what your handle is now, Ben, but everybody's handles.
You've been like dancing back and forth, man. Like you're confusing.
Yeah.
Gibbs 1842 13 7.
Can I take 30 seconds and explain the whole thing?
Go.
So I started with my original account back in 2013 or 12 or whenever Instagram first started. This is my personal page, you know. Every now and then. I didn't post very often, whatever. Then I got this idea, hey, I'm going to start doing a fitness page. You know, I share what I know. And that was great until, you know, you get life happens and other things happen. So I haven't touched that page in over a year, and yet Tyler still sends me DMs and messages on that account, and I haven't even used it in over a year. I've gone back to my...
This is the first I'm hearing of that.
I've gone back to my normal...
I'm not seeing posts on either one of them.
I post exclusively on my personal page.
Wow.
No, I haven't posted
So
on
where can they find
Gibbs
you, Ben?
Fitness in forever.
Tyler, where can they find you?
You asked me first.
Okay, go ahead.
Go follow me. Ben Gibbs 1027.
1027.
At Ben Gibbs 1027.
Okay.
That's my birthday.
That's his ATM pin too, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Pablo.
Ty Klutz on Instagram. I think that's what it is. I think it's just Ty Klutz.
At Ty Klutz.
At Ty Klutz. I think so. Yeah. And that's probably where I'm most active. I mean, Tyler Klutz on Facebook, and then Ty Klutz on Twitter as well.
Yeah, just the way you're spitting this out is so confident that we just all want to follow you.
Go look me up.
Darren, you're the most active. What's your handle?
Darren Woodson 28.
There you go.
Yep.
Very good.
That's pretty easy.
Yeah. We're also on YouTube, The Darren Woodson Show. I think we can tease that we've got something big coming in the new year. Don't want to reveal
just
too
crumb.
much.
Just a crumb, Ben.
Yeah.
Just a crumb. Something big.
But we got something big coming up, so be on the lookout for that. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for your support. Again, the best thing you can do to help us out is sharing these episodes. If you laughed, if you thought it was valuable, if you learned something today, text it to a buddy. Pin it to your or put it on your IG stories.
You spend some time on Pinterest, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
You did say
pin it.
Pin it.
I've outed myself.
What's your page on Pinterest?
What's got him?
If y'all want some modern farmhouse tips, follow Ben Gibbs on Pinterest.
How do you think we designed this freaking studio?
All right.
So anyway,
Appreciate
help
y'all.
us out by sharing the show. We appreciate you guys. Have a good rest of the week.